Why, hello, welcome back to Hardworking Man. We are going on a firewood delivery, something we never take you along the ride for, but lucky for you, you get to join in with us tonight.
It's not a typical firewood delivery. It's a little bit different because we are bringing it to one of our roadside stand locations, and it's the perfect location to set up because I just bring the wood there and drop it off, and it's a buddy from work. He has a YouTube channel up to something outdoors, and his girls keep the firewood stand filled. So that one I charge a little bit more than I do at the stand I filled because I pay the girls. So they get to make some money, I get to make some money, and I don't have to fill the racks. I just drop the wood off and go. So he's got a little Coyote tractor. I'm hoping it can pick up a full third of a quart of ash that I got in the back. So that way I don't have to dump it off and the girls throw it in a jet sled and take it out to the rack to fill. He can just drive up with his tractor and the girls can fill it right out of the IBC tow. So hopefully this will work.
Hopefully.
Well, I don't know that his tractor will lift it. I think it will.
Well, it lifts those maple syrup
not full, but yeah.
totes. How heavy are those?
It should lift it because it's dry ash. So it's not, if it was green oak or something, his tractor wouldn't lift it. I think he has like a CK 25 or something like that. I guess we'll find out when we get there, but it's been another busy day like always. I worked all day, then I've been running around, not focused. I'm selling my other dually, my first dually. It's like getting rid of your first girlfriend because I never knew
I'm your first girlfriend.
Well, yeah, I'm not getting rid of you.
Yeah.
I said it's like getting rid of your first girlfriend.
You did say on your Facebook you're trading it for an older model.
I'm getting rid of my 2012 Duramax and going to my 2001 Duramax because the 01 has half the miles on it. The 2012 has almost 400,000 on it, and the other one has 160. So I'm going back in years, but also way back in miles. So that's going. The 30-foot gooseneck's going because I replaced that with the N&N galvanized trailer because I'm sick of the rust. I'm sick of it. And the other reason I have to go over to the other side of the state is, unfortunately, my dad's not doing well. We don't know exactly what because he doesn't like to tell us, but now that it's getting worse, we're sort of finding out that he has cancer, Alzheimer's, and advanced dementia. So
Diabetes.
Diabetes is the one I knew, and he had a stroke last summer.
Well,
we didn't know hardly any. We find this stuff out on accident because my dad doesn't want us to know, and his wife doesn't tell us because my dad doesn't want her to. But at this point, we need to know because she needs help. So I'm heading over there to help with some stuff.
Someone said diabetes can cause dementia symptoms also.
I think a lot of this is probably linked. My dad, it's crazy to me because my dad is 73 years old?
72. He'll be 73 this year.
Yeah, 72. He'll be 73. He was the healthiest person I knew growing up. Like, he would eat bee pollen every day. He went over 30, 40 straight years without missing a single day of work. Never missed. I don't hardly ever remember my dad being sick.
Mm-mm.
And then he started getting to the point where, you'd be talking to him and he'd tell you the same thing a couple times in a row. And you're like, Dad, you already told me. Oh, did I? And then he'd start telling you it again. So, but I was like, it's just getting old. But I'll tell you what, he went downhill insanely fast.
Well, we don't see him often either. They're 3 hours away from us, and you couldn't really get a hold of him on the phone for a while.
Yeah, he quit. Like, he used to text. I'd call him a lot and text him a lot, and then he wouldn't text back. And I'm like, man, he must be busy, because after he retired, he was busier than he was when he worked. He'd buy skid steers and tractors and flip them and do whatever, and it wasn't that he was busy, it was that he couldn't really text anymore. I don't know if he couldn't see it, couldn't comprehend it, or what.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, we don't see him enough to really have seen the progression. I mean, I guess maybe that's easier to see the progression because from one time to the other, it's like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, and like sometimes he's fine. Like, he'll be just normal, and then another time he's trying to catch frogs in the window that aren't there, and who knows what's going on. But he said he was a diesel mechanic, and he just said the other day that he took a trip to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is 6 hours away from his house, and he said that the whole way there and back, all he did is change semi-tires. all the way up and all the way down. Everyone had flats, and he had to change all their tires.
Well, he said work sent him to do it.
Yeah, which he doesn't have a job. So
Well, he didn't say, I don't know, he said he did it. He didn't say he recently did it. That wasn't the story. He said he did it as if it was something he had done. Oh, yeah, one time work sent me and I did that.
Oh, okay. So he didn't say he just did it, but he said he had done it, which either way, he never did that.
He hadn't done it.
He never did that.
He hadn't done that, which I asked your mom, like, do you know this? Because she was married to him for how many years, so she would know. And she's like, not that I ever heard of. So
Why would you change tires the whole way? There'd have to be screws on the expressway.
There was a lot of tractors that needed new tires, and they needed your dad to do it.
He wasn't a tire man. He was a mechanic.
I know. He might have like changed somebody's tire maybe, and that's what he.
I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, he's there when and engaged in conversation when you're with him, and he's happy as can be. But what he adds to the conversation does not make a whole lot of sense.
Sometimes it does.
So we just kind of laugh and go, "Yep."
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, he goes to the doctor. They're doing their best. But there's nothing you can do. You just accept it, and you figure out what we can do when we're around him. You don't ask questions. You know,
Nothing
you don't say,
him.
You don't want to, just from what I've learned, you don't want to, hey, do you know who I am, Dad? Do you remember me? You don't want to ask those questions, because if they don't know, they get frustrated and they get mad, and because from what I understand, they still think that they should be okay, and they get upset when they're not. Like, I know I was up there this summer helping him put a new roof on his house, and it was him and two of his older brothers, who they're not doing great either, they're older, and his youngest brother and his wife were there, and I was there, and it was one of the hottest days of the year. They chose to do the roof, strip it and re-roof it, and it was all them. And so when I showed up, it was a huge help for my dad's youngest brother, and we were going through it, and my dad basically was in charge because he wanted to help. He wanted to be part of it, because that's how we grew up as a family. If someone needed a roof, everyone showed up and did it. If someone needed to move a barn, we all showed up and we all did it. So my dad doesn't want other people to do stuff for him. So he was up there, and his job was reloading the nail gun, because he could reload the nail gun. But then he felt like he wasn't part of it, because when we didn't need the nail gun loaded, he didn't have a job. So one time I had set the nail gun down, and he just grabbed it really fast and put a nail right in the trough, right in the middle of a shingle. Like, you couldn't have, if you would have said put a nail in the worst possible place, he grabbed that gun and he put it right there. And my Uncle Rich was fit to be tied. He was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm just doing the same thing you're doing. I'm helping." And he's like, "You're not helping," because he'd been working with him for a couple hours already, and he was fit to be tied. So it was a good thing I showed up, and me and my Uncle Rich and my Aunt Fawn and my Uncle Jim, who's the oldest, he was he was able to help, to assist,
More so than your dad.
Yeah, my other two uncles, actually all of them showed up, but one of my uncles, who has since passed away from complications from Vietnam, he was there. He didn't get up on the roof. He wasn't doing anything. He just stopped by, because like I said, if there's a job to be done, they all wanted to be there. And even though some of them couldn't do stuff anymore, they still would stop by. How's it going? See how it's going. That's how I grew up, like helping other people and working together and getting jobs done. And that's getting more and more rare, I think, as time goes on. Like, I'm busy, I don't have time to do this or that, and my brothers are busy and I'm busy, and we all live far away, and like, it's just not the same, I guess. Generationally, I guess it's different,
Yeah, well, people never had the schedules that we do with our kids, like growing up, so that makes it harder. And we're not, like, your dad and brothers all live relatively close to each other, so they can pop in and out, and we don't live near anybody. I feel like it might be different if we lived closer to your brothers.
Somewhat, but life is just different now, because when we were kids, if we played baseball, we went and we played Little League baseball, and it was a month or two out of the summer, and you had practices until the season started, and then you had 2 games a week, and that was it. And youth sports that was what it was. And now like our kids are in sports all year long. There's rarely a day off. Like that wasn't the same back then. So my dad's brothers, all of our family has big families, like all 4 or 5 kids, and they still all had time to do it because the sports world, kids weren't scheduled every day like they are now. Now it's like you have to be part of something every single day, or you're not doing, you know what? It's just crazy. We don't let people relax and do family time. And
like your mom's family every Sunday after church the whole extended family would all get together at your grandma and grandpa's and have coffee after church, and you'd get to see everybody. So I got to know your aunts and uncles well, which our kids do not know my aunts and uncles at all, because we never see them.
Now they see them for special occasions, weddings, graduations, just trips here and there, Christmas time.
Well, and even, I guess that would be, not our kids, my aunt and uncle. So what would that be if it was so it'd be like, I don't know, like just our kids seeing their aunts and uncles. Like we don't get together, but at a Christmas once a year or a grad party.
And your family wasn't the same as my family. Like your family didn't do nearly as much on either your mom or your dad's side. So all families are different. But it's weird for me because I grew up as a family and we do everything. We do a bunch together with our kids, but we did stuff with my parents and with our aunts and uncles, and our cousins were our best friends, and it's different. I guess that's life. Everyone's life takes a different path, and ours led us 3 hours away, which makes it hard. But I feel like everyone is so busy that we're missing out on a lot because we're busy. But I can't not be busy.
At the same time, though, I feel like I watched an awful lot of TV as a kid.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. TV was. Like my dad would sit down.
A huge part of my everyday, my dad's everyday.
Like my dad would watch. I remembered we didn't have much for a TV. We got Channel 3, Channel 8, and Channel 13 and 17. And they weren't all clear. You had to move the rabbit ears, and it was a 13-inch TV. And like on Sundays, I think it was, my dad would watch golf, which I thought was terrible.
Was that just to take a nap?
I don't know why my dad watched golf.
I don't know why he would watch golf.
Really hardly golf. I mean, when he did take me golfing, he was in his cowboy boots.
Yeah, I feel like that was more so put this on so I can take a nap.
But I remember, like stuff you remember from when you were a kid, I remembered, because we'd go and have bath time or whatever, and we'd come out and be in our towels. And if my dad was watching golf, I thought they could see us because we could see them. So I was always scared that these golfers were seeing me. And my mom thinks that. The government's seeing her too.
Yeah, maybe that's why you thought that. She knew it back then. They're watching.
Maybe she was well ahead of her time. But I remember that. I remember sitting on the heat register with my towel wrapped around me because we had the floor registers, and that heat would feel so good. And I thought that they could see me when I could see them.
Oh, goodness.
Which I don't know why I'd be in a heat register during golf season. I guess if it's spring in Michigan when they're golfing down south and whatever. But yeah, I do remember that. But yeah, life's just, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched TV outside of YouTube, watching other channels and whatnot.
Well, before the 3 years ago, before YouTube is when we would watch TV because we had time. Now
we would try to find a series on YouTube that we liked together, and then we wouldn't watch it without the other person. Like Game of Thrones, I think was probably the last one we watched fully through. We were on something that then we got busy and we never finished it, but I don't even remember what series it was.
We watched Dexter for a bit, but then I got sick of the characters.
They were annoying. And Weeds we watched, and we got sick of that. Like, some of these, they just take them too long. They need to end them, and they try to milk 2, 3, 4 more seasons out of them.
Well, and then you would be like on a streak of work, and I didn't want to wait to watch the show, because what am I, just sitting there by myself at night with nothing to do, so I'd watch the show without you, and then you wouldn't even remember.
It was tough, but yeah, it's been probably 3 years.
Probably over 3 years since we watched a show together.
But it's just a time suck, man.
Yeah, we just make YouTube videos together.
But like just people that I work with, they're like, how do you do everything you do? Like my wife and I will sit there and we're watching TV and I'll say something about your YouTube channel and they're like, wait, he has the same job as you and he has a YouTube channel and a firewood business and how does he do it? Like, I don't watch TV. You guys just sat down and wasted 3 or 4 hours, and I don't do that. Rachel doesn't do that. Our kids don't do that. Like, we're always
not a TV family.
We're not, which I'm fine with. I'm more than fine with.
Yeah.
The kids play video games here and there, but even now in the summer, that's gone. It's golf.
Yeah.
They are golf crazy right now.
Every day of the week.
We went out golfing the other night, and it was dark by the time we got done.
We got through 7 holes pretty well, and then the last 2 were pretty hard to see. Hard to even see each other walking.
Yeah. But I did realize that we don't see as well as the kids.
Yeah, the kids didn't seem to be bothered at all, and we're both just like squinting.
Like, Rachel, where are you?
I was wearing all dark clothes, but yeah.
I didn't like it's stuff you don't realize. Like when I found out that I couldn't hear, I was hunting with my brother on a hunting show. We were filming for a hunting show, and he heard a deer, told me it was coming, and like 10 minutes later, I heard that deer, and I tapped him on the foot and told him a deer was coming. And
but that's always been you. I feel like it's just because I remember when we were hunting in Mount Pleasant at that girl I worked with's parents' house, and you were in like a tree right behind me, and there was a deer, and you were just completely unaware, and then you stood up and were like, Rach, there, and I'm like, I know, and then you scared it because you were so unaware of everything in your own little world.
But no,
you didn't hear it, and you didn't see it, and I already had it, and you scared it.
I'm saying that when I did that hunting, that sit with him,
that's when you realized
was when it hit me that I couldn't hear.
Well, maybe it was the same scenario. I mean, I guess that was how many years later?
Right.
Your hearing wasn't blown yet. You hadn't even done any Air Force yet.
Right. Working on jets did not do me any favors.
Your ADHD kind of causes you to not
I got to focus. I got to focus to hear. But now my hearing is legitimately not. Because even now when I'm focused, if there's background noise, you can just forget about it. I'll just ask Rachel what people were saying later. Like if it's a calm setting and I'm focused, I can have a conversation with one-on-one. But if I'm in a noisy situation, like at these shows, Paul Bunyan for the Friday Night Lives, even at just the shows when people are coming around to check out different splitters and whatnot, it's real hard for me to have a conversation with anybody. I just look at Rachel a lot, and she sort of takes over because she knows I'm not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, he gets a look on his face that I know. He doesn't have a clue. And he nods, and I'm like, he doesn't know what that guy just said. Not a clue.
I do my best.
And I can spot that from across the room because he's like one of my children. I always got to be managing him, taking care. He must communicate through the wife cloud to me, so I know you need help.
I know there's other people out there, though, and you probably feel the same as me. If your hearing's not great, you don't want to keep asking someone what. Like, what'd you say? What was that? I didn't catch that. You don't. So I just play along, and who knows what I agree to or say. And people are probably like, he said he was going to do this. Why didn't he do it? I didn't even know I said it. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that'd be sweet.
Right, I'd be like, why'd everybody go to brunch and not tell us? They're like, we did.
We told Heath.
We told Heath, and he was like, all right.
Oh, cool, that'll be fun, he says. I don't know. I do the best. I get away with it most of the time, I think. Or maybe I don't. Maybe people just leave shaking their head.
Yeah, or they think you're ignoring them because they say something to you and you just keep walking by without any care in the world.
That has happened a lot. People at Little League. I was a coach and a board member on our Little League for years. And I'm the type of person, like if I'm at one of these events or something like that, that's different. But when I'm somewhere to do a job, if I'm at Little League to be the equipment manager, to coach a baseball team, or I am there to do that, and I am focused, and I'm heading to coach my baseball team. And if I don't see people, if I don't have a reason to talk to them, I don't. I'm not a jerk. I just don't. And people will tell Rachel, oh, camera moved. people will tell Rachel, like, man, I don't think Heath likes me. Like, I said hi, he didn't say hi. I said, you know, he doesn't want to talk to me. A lot of people are intimidated by me. And she's like, I guarantee you Heath doesn't have a problem with you. Heath doesn't even know who you are. And that is usually the case. Like,
Heath doesn't recognize you because he didn't pay close enough attention when he met you to remember your face.
I'm bad with names. I'm bad with faces.
In all honesty,
we're losing our camera.
What's happening?
I don't know, but we're almost there, so we'll pick this back up after we drop this wood off and get this camera situated. The railroad tracks got it. All right, Rachel fixed it, I think.
In all honesty, if you were to stop and say hi to somebody on your way,
I would be there.
You would forget where you were going, and then the game would be in the third inning, and you'd go, oh, I'm supposed to be at the game. So
I'd be talking about deer hunting with somebody.
You have to just go.
Yeah. So I'm not being rude. If you ever see me and say something to me and I don't respond, it wasn't intentional. I just didn't hear you, or you didn't get my attention.
We're like, we gotta go get food, and then it's like an hour.
2 hours, 3 hours later.
And then that's no good, because then you get hangry, and then I get to deal with the aftermath.
I do get hangry. That's a real thing. I get if you can mix two things for me, and they'll take me out. Lack of sleep, which is almost a constant, and hangry. You throw those two together, and then maybe if you want to add a third, put me in a car in some traffic or with a rude driver. I always say I should throw a camera up like this and just have a live stream and people can tune in, because I say some funny stuff. It's not always nice. Rachel don't think it's funny.
I don't think it's funny. I have like panic. What's going on?
Oh, I think this is there.
I have PTSD from riding with you.
I have the same when you drive.
That is a lie.
Last second breaker.
It is a lie.
I push on that floor.
If I should monitor my blood pressure, like I legitimately feel like my life is going to end at any moment when we're driving through traffic.
I think all men.
And it's not even heavy traffic. Like it could be somewhere out here. He likes to try to pass 3-4 people at a time.
If they're going too slow.
On double yellows around curves, I know.
That was an extraordinary circumstance.
An isolated event. We could every single time.
It was isolated-ish.
No, it's not. Every single time someone rides with you, they're like, go out and kiss the ground. Like, thank God I made it. They're
you are nuts.
Finally, and
You're
they're always
crazy.
like, did I tell you what happened? You're like, whoa, did I tell you what happened? This and this. We almost crashed and got killed. And I'm like,
you're ridiculous.
Oh.
You know what? Every husband, I think, I drive great when you're not with me, because wives like to tell their husbands how to drive and say,
I don't tell you.
Brakes! When I see everything happening, but when they scream like that, I literally think a child sprinted out in front of the vehicle, and it's just the traffic that's up there that I already saw, I already knew was coming.
You're not, because your hand's on your phone like this reading YouTube comments.
No, that's ADHD. You can't
you're not paying attention.
Multiple things.
Someone's got to save us.
I don't know if he's even home. Oh, yes, he is home, and he does have the tractor. But the rack is almost empty, so we can fill a lot of it right here.
All right.
Let's get this thing unloaded. It'll be easier to get it out of the truck and see how much we have left, and I'm going to be bringing another load when I get back from Grand Rapids. All right, so here he is. It's a CK3510. We'll see if we can get this. This is a 330-gallon tote, so it's going to be a full third of a quart of ash.
I got the hard-working man who put seat bypass switch in.
Oh yeah. He got the seat bypass switch so you can stand up off the seat and see better. I put that in one of my videos. Oh yeah, she's got her. Well, this is, maybe not. Need a counterweight on. Lower it down. If he had a counterweight on, he would have been good. Taking as much weight off as I can. He's got his back wheel off the ground. That's good. Roll him back. It'll be lighter now. We got to fill some of these racks, so when he brings it back up, it won't be so heavy. You got to get a counterweight on there so you don't wreck your front axles.
Well, that or I need a bigger tractor like yours.
Well, that's an option as well.
It works great for lifting engines out of boats, but that's heavier than a V8 apparently, because...
It is, and I tell him he needs to get a thing to stop the chain from sliding, because in his videos he's like me and he just goes for stuff and the chain slips and he almost crushes himself sometimes.
Well, you know, here's what it is.
So this rack's been selling. It's funny because I got different racks and they sell differently at different times. Like one rack will be selling out like crazy, and so I'll assume both racks will be, and then the other rack isn't selling anything. But right now everything's selling, and I don't know why, because it's 100 degrees every day.
Well, at least in the 90s.
Yeah. This is my little rack filler here, right?
She keeps it full for you.
I got here, she says, her and her friend got up at 6:30 this morning and came out and had to fill it.
Wow.
Making money for horse camp? Is that you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, very rarely do I do much on the filling the stand. She keeps it pretty well full. But since this one's in a tote, I might bring it out with the tractor for her.
Yeah, that would be a lot easier.
Well, she drives the ATV out.
We'll either get a bunker here or we will just bring more totes. I am about to revolutionize the firewood delivery game, I think.
Really?
Yes.
You got some interesting ideas, do you?
I have a build that I think is going to be, I got a couple builds I'm working on. I'm a welder fabricator now, in case you didn't know.
Well, you're highly regarded in the welding community.
That is true.
All right, well, there she is. She's full for now, and we're leaving them with plenty of wood left to fill it again. And these mosquitoes are the size of black crows, I think, and they're hungry, so I am getting in the truck. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day.